Mechanic there of the British entry, number 19, Robbie Herring. That's Harvey Beltram with the Castrol Honda. And Herring hoping for some good points here today in this German Grand Prix. Puzar, Alexandra Puzar, the Italian, making some final adjustments to the front brake of the Chesterfield Yamaha, one of the 3 Chesterfield team riders here today. James Dobb, number 23, one of the Englishmen, waves to our camera on the works machine. And there's Paul Malin, 98, on a predominantly production machine today. Mike Healy, number 2, on the Biffy Suzuki. That's Everts' teammate. And there is young Ricky Parker. That's Trampus Parker's young son, the current defending champion. Now, Dad, there's your gloves. Go out and do a good job for me today. Trampus Parker waiting for the start. Michele Fanton here straps up his helmet. James Dobb in deep concentration for the start of the first moto. Very serious look on his face. There's Everts waiting to the last possible moment to pull on the helmet. It's quite warm here at the moment. Monique Bevorts there, the Johnson-sponsored runner. And number 4, the Swede, Peder Johansson, coming down onto the line. Donny Schmidt, 75, one of the other Chesterfield Yamaha runners. And in the background, there's number 81, Bob Moore, the 3rd team member of the Chesterfield outfit. As Johansson drops in, there's Schmidt. For some reason, Schmidt's decided to rub mud on the seat of his bike. There must be a good reason for that. Herring, number 19. Side Herring, there's Parker dropping the bike in, the Honda. Schmidt, Dobb coming along in the foreground. Everts there. Well, he's facing the wrong way. I hope someone tells him that he's supposed to turn round as we wait for the official starter to put up the 30-second board. The riders making their final preparations before that board goes up. There it is. Now the 5-second board. Bikes in gear, clutches in. They wait for the gate to drop. And it will do any moment, and it does. Here they go, Heat 1, Round 5 of the 250 World Motocross Championship. Into that first corner they come. The question now is, who will it be that emerges from the dust? It's Schmidt. Team Chesterfield Yamaha in the lead. Donny Schmidt, the American. Looking back for second place, man. Oh, it's a long, long way back at the moment. Beta Monet, number 18, and Bob Moore there is 3rd. And yeah, well, that's Dobby. He's there in 6th at the moment. James Dobb, the Englishman. Puzar's just gone through, so the rest of the pack beginning to pick their way through. Someone on the ground there, number 10. It's Michele Fanton. Not such a good start, and there's Herring way, way down the pack. He won't be happy with that as they get away in this first heat. And Everts cruising in. Stefan Everts has been off at the start of that race. At the first corner, Everts went down with a very big bump. Schmidt leading 75 on the 250 Chesterfield Yamaha and looking good at the moment, looking maybe to pick up another hat-trick of wins. Schmidt away and around, under no threat whatsoever for anyone behind him. He does have a big, big lead, around 10 seconds at the moment. Down the humps and bumps he goes. A lot of criticism of the track from Schmidt. Lack of water in facilities, lack of water on the track prior to the race. It's Moore, teammate, now into second place. So we've got Chesterfield's 1 and 2. Kelly Rinaldi will be well happy with this situation at the moment. Looking back for 3rd, that looked like Monet. And that's Dobb in 4th, 23. And, well, I couldn't quite pick up that rider, but there's Johansson, number 4, going through. So he's picking up places. There's Puzar, the 3rd member of the Chesterfield squad. He's got a lot to do if he wants to get in those top 3. But it was Schmidt that led. We're looking through the charge at the moment from 98, Paul Malin. He's got the gas on the back of that production Kawasaki, but Schmidt, it is the race leader. Well, he's looking very happy at the moment. Big, big gap between himself and fellow teammate number 81, Bob Moore, who should still be back there in second place. And there he is with those hand guards. He's protecting that right hand. He broke a finger on that right hand last week in practice. Beta Monet there, and that's Dobby, and he's got Bevorts climbing all over him. So Dobb on the factory Kawasaki. There's Johansson, number 4. He's behind Bavort, so we should see a challenge there between those two. There's Puzar, number 3. He's not had the best of starts. Healy beginning to make up ground through the pack. And Healy really is making up ground. Look at him go. The young Californian Mike Healy riding number 2. Herring beginning to pick his way through the dust. So far, at the moment, it's this man that leads, number 75, Donny Schmidt, the American, looking very, very much an invincible rider here today. This is Moto 1. Schmidt then leads. We look back for second place man. It should and indeed still is number 81, Bob Moore, the most likeable young man that I've ever met. Third place, now this is a big question. Who indeed will it be in third? Because there was a whole gaggle of riders. There's Monet, number 18, he's still there. Well, I can see Dobbs in there as well. Oh, Johansson's there, Vavort's there, Dobb losing a place. Here comes Puzar, number 3. Well, if Puzar can get up into third, that'll be a Chesterfield clean sweep. There's Parker, he's not having the best of times at the moment. But it's this young man, Donny Schmidt, who at the moment is looking very comfortable at the front and indeed looks to be taking that first place and those 20 points. Sound of the hooters as he comes through, second place man, fellow teammate Moore, number 81 on, well, literally an identical machine. Monet still there in third. Look at the crowd cheering on Puzar. Come on, they say. You can do it. Well, there's Dobb now behind Puzar. 23, the Englishman, former 125 and 250 British champion. But behind him somewhere is Robbie Herring, the current British and 250 champion. There is Schmidt still at the front. No one seems to catch him, and no one did indeed catch him because he won. Moore it was who stayed there in second. Now, who indeed was it in third? It was a Yamaha, but it was Johansson, Petty Johansson, number 4, that came through. Bavorts came through, and here comes Puzar. Didn't make it, but a great ride anyway from a poor start. That's James Dobb just came through. That's 7th position, 9 points for him. Here's Edwin Everton, number 8. Behind him at the moment is Healy. He's picking up 5 points in 11th. And looking out for the Brit, there's Robbie Herring there, 14th place, and just the 2 points. Well, here we are, back on the start gate, along with Bailey Benet, Bob Moore's machine. There's Robbie Herring's bike. And here's Donny Schmidt, about to demonstrate the art of horticulture on the start line of a motocross Grand Prix. Well, very pretty, Donny. Where are you going to plant the flowers? That's what we're all beginning to wonder. And he's filling in the ruts. The idea of this is so that the back wheel doesn't dig in too deep. Michele Fanton there, looking very relaxed, chewing on his straw. And that's for Alexander Puzar, hoping for a better start in this second heat. Such a good start in the first one. Team Green chief there, Alec Wright, with James Dobb and Paul Malin discussing obvious tactics into the first corner. That's Robbie Herring. Now, you can see that there's water dripping from Robbie Herring's radiator, and they're already on the start line, which means they can't remove the bike to repair it. They don't have the time, so Harvey will top up the radiator and keep their fingers crossed that it'll make it through the race. Vavort's there. Schmidt, Peter Hansen, Puzar, number 3. Coming onto the line. Not overly happy with his position. Green flag then to the riders from the starter. Heat 2 on the line and ready to go. Here they come down that hill towards our cameraman. He's a brave lad today. Into that first right-hand corner. It looks, well, we've got a couple on the floor. One of those is a Suzuki. One of them is a Kawasaki. And that looks like one of the Yamahas. That is Everts. He is having an awful time. Stefan Everts on the floor yet again for the second time today. Well, he's back on his feet. Let's hope that that's nothing more than just a bit of bruising. But we'll give you an update during the race as we get it. But it's Schmidt that took the Chesterfield Yamaha to the front yet again. It was Puzar on another Chesterfield that held on to second place. Then behind those, it was Dobby. Then it's Herring in 4th. The 2 British riders. There's Parker going through. There's Healy. Johansson, Bavorts is there. There's Gazarat. Peter Ivan on the Kawasaki. Hunt, the British rider. Fanton is there. So is Diamond. Woo, Dietmar Lacker going through. And that's Eastwood. There's young Mark Eastwood. But we're back with the leader once again, Donny Schmidt. Really is flying that Chesterfield Yamaha over those jumps. There's no doubt about it, Schmidt is on the boil. And look at Puzar, the young Italian, who's just bought himself a Ferrari. Looking back for third place. It's Pekka Väkkönen, number 6, is there third. He's got Evertson with him. There's Herring, number 19, the British rider, on that Castrol 250 Honda. There's Dobb on the Kawasaki. That's Trampus Parker. There's Healy. And that's Petter Johansson. There's Bevorts, number 5. That's Gazarat, 28. Well, they are really coming through full steam at the moment. There's Fanton. Axel Holbert with Diamond. That's Mark Eastwood now. He's got Bob Moore on the inside of him, number 81. But he's holding off Moore. It's a great ride from the Kentish man. Moore trying on the outside. Has he got him? I think he might have just squeezed past, yes. Oh, hang on. This is what to do if you are not interested in racing. Go bungee jumping. Now, this is some 100 and odd foot that they're leaping off the top of that tower. Wonderful view of the race as the race leader comes into view. Number 75, Donny Schmidt. I understand that Donny Schmidt says that if he wins all 3 races, he'll have a go at bungee jumping. Puzar, number 3, the Italian, in second spot at the moment. Oh, and down went somebody. That's Herring through. Evertson through as well. I'll pick up who the rider was that went down, but I would say it was probably Väkkönen. It was Pekka Väkkönen, number 6. He's now got Trampus Parker parked right up his rear tailpipe. There's Healy, number 2, still suffering the effects of that injured ankle. Petter Johansson, number 4, behind him, but here's the leader. Schmidt, 75, looking very much a 2-leg winner. And if he does it in the 3rd leg, we'll see him take a leap off that tower. Schmidt, the American 1990 125 champion. Came to Europe in about 1989 for the first time. There's Herring, number 19, looking good at the moment in second place. And Puzar dropping back, so Herring really has got the power down. Through the humps and the bumps and the jumps, there's Evertson, number 8. Here goes the race leader, styling it from the crowd. The American Schmidt, having fun. Herring, also having fun, the British rider. Looking back for 3rd, and it's Puzar. The Castrol Honda now splitting up those 2 Chesterfield Yamahas. Johansson down the hill. Next it's Evertson over the top. Looking back behind Evertson, here comes Parker, the defending champion, number 1. And the checkered flag goes out, and a big wheelie for the race winner, number 75, Donny Schmidt. Home in second, and with that radiator obviously holding out, number 19, Robbie Herring. Looking back for 3rd, it should be Petter Johansson, and indeed it was. Edwin Evertson there in 4th. And the defending champion, Trampus Parker, coming home in 5th. There's Puzar, 6th place. Not happy with that. I think he may have a puncher, but he hasn't. There's Pekka Väkkönen, number 6. And here is Mr. Puzar. Not looking a happy Puzar at all at the moment as he goes down onto the start area. Trampus Parker comes down for a chat with Julian Dobb, James Dobb's older brother and mechanic. And there Mr. Puzar sits, wondering, well, what should I do to win the last race? Can I stop my fellow teammate Donny Schmidt from making it 3 out of 3 or not? Well, deep thought as his helmet falls over the back. There is Spider-Man Herring, there is Puzar, Johansson, Schmidt, Parker. They all drop in on the gate. 5-second board goes up. The crowd are looking on. Who's it going to be that gets out there first? Here they come. Heat 3. Enter that corner. Oh, this is a brave camera shot, this is. Around that right-hander. Well, it looks to be okay so far, but it's Schmidt, the American. He's out there again. What is he running this bike on? It must be rocket fuel. 75, Donny Schmidt leads for the 3rd time today. Looking back for 2nd place, Bader-Manet. There it's Bevorts, number 5, Monique Bevorts. In 3rd, looking back behind them, and it's Herring, the British rider. Robbie Herring in 4th. Much better gate for him today. As the rest goes, Healy, they're coming through. Evertson was amongst that group. There's Puzar. He's behind Johansson, but it's Schmidt that's at the front. Looking very unassailable at the moment with his main contender, Stefan Everts, now out with a confirmed ruptured spleen and a couple of busted ribs. So that's a great deal of bad luck for him. Monet in second, number 18. Looking back for third, it's still Bevorts. Herring is still there in fourth. Behind Herring, well, we're not sure because there was a whole bunch of riders that came through earlier. But here he is in fifth. It's Paul Malin, number 98, Team Kawasaki. Having a much better ride here at the moment. Healy, number 2. That's Peter Ivan, Pouzar, more with a better start. Vekkanen is in there. Johan, Gunnard, Fanton coming through. Number 10, DeWitt behind him. Here comes Paul Cooper. Axel Holbert is there, and so is Edwin Evertson, recovering after a little bit of a big get-off just before then. But we're back with the leader, Donny Schmidt. Like you said, the bad news is that on young Everts, quite seriously injured as Monet went through. There's Bevorts, number 5, settling into third place at the moment. Herring settling to fourth. Herring will be much happy with his starts. Malin there behind him in fifth. This will keep team boss Alec Wright a little happier. There's Pouzar. And there's Moore. Now, Moore had a much better start this time. Healy, Johansson, they are really charging through at the moment. Fanton, number 10 there. And that's young Paul Cooper. First year at Grand Prix level, the South African. Schmidt going through the leader, onto his last lap. Second and third, it's still Monet and Bevorts chasing each other like a pair of rabbits. Herring sitting there in fourth. No real danger for being caught. Checkered flag then, and very nearly over the back of the bike for Schmidt. 3 in a row, it's 60 points. Second then for Bader Monet. Third for Monique Bevorts. And fourth, it should be number 19, the British rider Robbie Herring. Well, everybody looks on, and you'll know the reason why a little later. Herring comes in then in fourth. And a battle on here. Well, did Pouzar get it or didn't he get it? I'll give you the results afterwards. Cooper coming through, 95. Well, he's in the points. He'll be happy with that. And the riders making their way back to the paddock area. Here's Donny Schmidt. Takes the winning laurels. 3 out of 3 for Schmidt. He really is a champion to be.